An English village awakens. Across the country, the inhabitants of England's villages, in all their variety and individuality, begin another day. Until the last century, most English people lived in villages and the countryside that surrounds them. The coming of the Industrial Revolution caused many to leave for the towns and cities. But despite all the changes of the 20th century, England's villages are still with us, retaining much of their distinctive way of life. This is the story of England's villages today, and of the people who live in them year in, year out, through spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This modest door and its intimate relationship with the Virginia creeper that gently smothers and unsmothers it will chart the changes in village life brought by the seasons. The names of English villages are the legacy of Romans, Saxons, Normans, Danes, Celts, and other peoples who have inhabited or invaded England across the centuries, those who founded or possessed England's villages and determined the way of its village life. Hinton St George in the West Country county of Somerset, its name meaning a high farm. It is a village that glows in the rich golden stone that has been quarried locally for centuries. The houses and cottages of Hinton are 200 or even 300 years old, some even older than that. The building of the great tower of St George's Church was begun in 1484, 8 years before Columbus set sail for America. Twice a day, a local ritual takes place in Hinton. As the village slowly awakens, farmer Fred Voss trundles his cows along the high street between the top field, the bottom field, and the milking shed. But the tranquility of Hinton is occasionally disturbed by Tom Rohulan, the biker of Hinton St George. Tom's vintage motorbike, dating from just after the First World War, is one of his many unusual possessions. His unregulated Virginia creeper, which holds his 200-year-old cottage together, is another. Tom's house is bursting with a seemingly random assortment of decorative jumble. But decorative though they are, ancient though they may be, most of Tom's tools are in daily use. Tom Rohulan is known throughout the village of Hinton, the county of Somerset, the city of London, and much of Switzerland as Tom the Clock. Tom is a master clock and watchmaker. Spring brings the first day of the cricket season. It also brings the growth of Tom's Virginia creeper. Every year it strangles his cottage and shrouds his front door. This is the last month that Tom will be able to use the door until the autumn. Hinton St George is playing a nearby rival village, Pitney. This is an annual fixture that Hinton has never won. Pitney is batting well.
Mr. Bath.
Hinton and Tom are fielding with mixed fortune.
Went through my legs.
Pitney has set a score that will severely challenge Hinton's team of mixed ability cricketers.
That was nearly a cricket shot, wasn't it?
Tom has developed a batting technique of individual prowess and idiosyncratic style. It's high in improvisational virtuosity, entertainment value, and runs.
Thank God for that, I can go in now.
By the time Tom is out, Hinton has all but won the match.
As soon as we got in,
At the celebrations of Hinton's historic victory, the man of the match displays yet another talent and another item from his collection.
big enough to wedge in. Come on there, mate.
At this time of year, farmers across England are harrowing and cultivating their land to prepare it for the crops that will soon be pushing their way through the soil. In the flat East Anglian county of Norfolk, the fields surrounding the village of Hayden are overshadowed by its 500-year-old church. The name Hayden means high down, or a place where hay was made, and Hayden Hall, the home of Sarah Bulwer Long, Lady of the Manor, was built in 1582, in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. Hayden is one of only a dozen or so privately owned villages in England, and its weekly market on the village green was mentioned in the Domesday Book, the vast inventory, record and census of England, taken by William the Conqueror in 1086. There has been no new building at all in Hayden since 1887. Hayden's Widow's Row is a little group of cottages where traditionally, for a nominal rent, the widows of the village could live on after the death of their husbands. Chris Carman is the travelling farrier who shoes many of the hundreds of horses in this part of Norfolk. The horses of Sarah Bulwer Long are shod in the original Elizabethan stable yard of the Great Hall. 4-year-old Ivy is being prepared for her first horse trials. Sarah has 7 horses altogether, each of which has to be shod by Chris about once a month. Every year, Hayden enters the best-kept village competition. Points will be deducted for excessively lengthy grass or an immoderate display of buttercups.
I rather like the buttercups. I mean, I think it's what people imagine on the village green. We needn't have it too short. Absolutely.
Most of the village turns out to give Hayden its annual beauty treatment. "84-year-old Florrie Wadlow is one of Hayden's oldest and most energetic inhabitants. She's well aware that her small garden doesn't yet come up to competition standards.
I'm trying to hoe the weeds up. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm getting tangled up in the apple tree. Because we've got to keep our gardens tidy.
Florrie would like some catmint to replace the weeds.
My word, you are busy.
Oh, Mrs. Wadlow.
Oh.
Nice
That
to see
does
you.
look smart.
Looks better now, does it?
Now, you're looking very smart down your area. See
We're-
anything
I've done my
hectic?
best.
Now you see what's here, nice little catmint.
Catmint.
I remember
Oh,
I was
yes.
talking to you about that.
I've
This.
got to pinch it while nobody's looking.
Florrie wants the catmint to impress the competition judges with its summer display of blue flowers. She decides to help out a neighbour by relieving her of an excess of it.
They'll never miss this, will they?
Florrie will have to wait until summer for the catmint to flower, but already daffodils are decorating the garden of the Great Hall, and soon after, the woods around Hayden will be carpeted by her favourites, bluebells.
I love walking through woods. That's one of my favourite occupations. I always love to go on holiday somewhere where there's nice woods as well. But I really think that springtime is one of my favourite times. For years, my husband worked in the woods, and every year when the bluebells came out, he used to bring me here. So it's got very fond memories for me.
The names of the villages around Hayden reflect both its Anglo-Saxon history and the influence of the Danish invaders of the 9th and 10th centuries. Far to the north of Hayden, the stark bare moorland of Yorkshire replaces the gentle flat Norfolk countryside. Below the moors lies Swaledale, with its geometrically patterned landscape of dry stone walls. Many of the local village names survive from an invasion by Norsemen around 800 AD. Muka takes its name from a Scandinavian word meaning narrow field. At one time, every village in Swaledale had its own brass or silver band, but now there are only two, and the Muka band is one of the most thriving and active in the whole of the Northern Dales. Muka has changed little over the years. The parish register from 3 centuries ago contains entries for families still resident here: Peacocks, Aldersons, Harkers and Waggets. Half the members of the band come from just one family, the Guys. The ancient Britons and Romans considered this valley a worthless land of demented peasants. The Normans found so little of interest that they excluded Muka from the Domesday Book altogether. It wasn't until the great painter Turner visited the Dale in the late 1700s that its beauty was fully appreciated. Above Muka lie the high, bleak moorland stretches of the Pennines, the central mountain spine of England. Beyond these highland wastes lie the great mountains of the Lake District carved out by the Ice Age, and the lakes which fill the valleys between them. The Lake District has a distinctive landscape of its own. Tiny groups of isolated cottages and villages sitting on the shores of the lakes scoured by the ice. At the southwest tip of England lies the rocky coast of Cornwall. Here, half hidden in one of its many bays, lies the fishing village of Cadgwith, the name an old Cornish word for a thicket of bramble bushes. The old stone cottages drop down to a beach, made not for sun worshippers but for fishermen. But there is no harbour here. Cadgwith is one of the last villages in Cornwall where the fishing boats are still launched directly from the beach. The Cadgwith gulls wait for breakfast. Early every morning, Sharky, a retired fisherman, supplements the gull's diet with a few slices of bread, a gesture that generates immense excitement and appreciation for the produce of the local bakeries. Until the early part of this century, vast shoals of pilchards, Cornish sardines, came to these shores. These shoals were sometimes 15 miles across. The village lookout men, the hewers, would scour the seas from their hut on the headland, and when the shoals arrived, the hewers would cry out to the fishermen below, and the pilchard boats would put out to sea. Today the great shoals have gone, and now only a dozen or so fishermen work from Cadgwith's little beach. Every day, weather permitting, John Trewin and David Muirhead chug out to check their pots for crab and lobster.
See what this one has got to offer.
Most of the fishermen have nicknames. David's is Tatty, after his tousled beard and hair. John is JC, after a great uncle, a farmer who naturally did some fishing on the side.
Is there something in there?
The village fishermen work their pots from April to December.
Big hen spider crabs. Look at that.
Every day they remove the catch, renew the bait, and throw back anything too small. Cadgwith also has another great tradition, which the fishermen take very seriously and rehearse at any excuse.
I like that song that we're learning at the moment, that one you picked up down St Ives. Boy, Edmund was partial to bread and jam, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
like
that's the one.
buttered toast.
But the
captain
he favoured the fat and the lean left over from Sunday roast. But Robert, his menu he'd never change, if ever you asked him why. Just pop the question and sure as eggs, this would be his reply. You can all have your ham and your eggs for me, or anything else you wish. But I don't see nothing to take the place of a nice little bit of fish. Oh, fill up your glasses and let us be merry.
The tradition of singing in Cadgwith was started 40-odd years ago by two villagers, Buller, a fisherman, and Hartley, the postman. Every Friday night they led a sing-song in the pub. Their spirit lives on. As the beer flows during the evening, the noose-shaped ropes hanging from the ceiling make sure that the singers remain upright. The rich soil of Devon is punctured by the first shoots of the season. Here, on the edge of Dartmoor, lies the tiny village of Drew Stainton, surrounded by farming country. It's the calving season, and Joy Walker has been up most nights acting as midwife to her cows. Her neighbour, Ron Peake, has come to get the latest medical bulletin on Scylla, Lulu and Sandy.
Yes.
And how about this one here?
Well, this little one was born at 12:30 during the night. Her first calf, so she didn't really know what it was all about, so I decided to help her then. And she got a little bit excited about it all. But it's a bull calf, she's very happy with him now. She's much more relaxed. A fairly big calf for a heifer. It's her first one, and she didn't really know what was going on. So
Yeah,
gave her a hand, and she got a bit overexcited about it all. Didn't you?
Settled in now, really?
Yeah, she's okay now. But I ended up bottle feeding this calf because she was so excited about it all. She pushed him over each time he tried to stand up.
Drews Tainton was originally a Saxon hilltop village, built for defence around a square. Its name is a rough derivative taken from a settlement held by a Norman invader called Drogo on the River Teign. In the 19th century, the village had a population of 1,300, with its own carpenters, blacksmiths, shoemakers, bakers, wheelwrights, tailors, thatchers, builders, coopers and farriers. They needed 3 pubs to slake their thirst. Today's population of 500 has only 1 pub. The 400-year-old Drew Arms has been known for most of this century simply as Aunt Mabel's. Mabel Mudge was, at 99, England's oldest landlady. The pub itself, and the photographs of her great-nephew, Henry Scott, tell a remarkable and unique story of a woman and a timeless way of life that in the pub has been preserved to this day.
Oh yeah, that's Ian Bell.
Aunt Mabel took over the pub in 1919 when she married Ernest Mudge, whose elder brother Alfred had run it since 1893. The accounts kept by Alfred Mudge in the last century carefully detail the amount of beer sold each day to Drew Stainton's thirsty population. Ernest also ran a farm, but when he died, the farm stock was sold at a grand auction, and Aunt Mabel ran the pub single-handedly until 1994, a total of 77 years. Aunt Mabel was not one for change. Without a hint of irony, she declared her favourite colour to be nicotine, a hard-wearing colour. And in the Drew Arms, we can see a typical English country pub of the past. Aunt Mabel lived in the pub and rented the upstairs rooms, often to elderly men who fished the nearby River Teign. Occasionally, one of them died at the pub. Aunt Mabel even discovered one corpse in the bathtub. As she grew older, Aunt Mabel slept in the pub's kitchen with her bed by the warm stove. Her story is, in many ways, the story of this century.
You see, Aunt Mabel, she's gone from horses,
That's right.
trains, aeroplanes, and men going to the moon.
Yeah,
Isn't she? In one lifetime.
Yeah. Oh,
But
my
we're
word,
never
yeah.
going to see a change like that.
No. No, I don't know where the next move will be, do you?
No. I remember the first time she saw television, which was only about, what, a year ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, a few years back.
And she was horrified. She thought it was people looking in the window at her. And she said, my dear, look at it here. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't believe it.
Like the devil, really.
Yeah.
Lovely that is, isn't it?
Northumberland, a vast and lonely countryside near the Scottish border. Here lies Allendale, in the past ravaged by plague and plundered by brigands. Its name is derived from an old European word for a flowing or a flood, suggesting a settlement here at least 4,000 years ago. Tomorrow is the Allendale Fair, which will be attended by most of the 2,000 population. And it's one camel.
Someone help me put my head on, please. Oh! No, Mum, you're not supposed to have that.
You've got your head in the hump, Ruth.
Rehearsals are underway for the two halves of the village's most popular dromedary, Ruth Finn and Norman Askew.
You get dressed first. Take your hat off.
Right.
This will be better tomorrow, honestly.
The local drama group is entering a float with the theme of ancient Egypt in tomorrow's parade.
There we go.
All right, now.
It's highly competitive. The floats will be judged. Ruth is hoping to repeat the group's success of last year, when it won with a Hollywood float. In extrovert fashion, Ruth boldly played Marlene Dietrich with a French accent, because she couldn't do a German one.
This needs work. Right leg in, right leg out. 1, 2, shake it all up. Now, I'm going to try and lean down, okay? So you go down first.
This year, Norman gets the camel accent just right.
Do I make camel noises here?
Yes, come on, Lord.
Spring arrives late in the land around Allendale. It's almost the end of May. But farmers are still only now breaking up the land in preparation for the first sowing of the root crops. Farmer John Dodd has been using horses all his life. He's taught his son-in-law David to use them too. And after years of working with horses, his friend Norman Barber also sees no reason to use a machine that is fueled by anything other than grass and hay. The day of the May Fair. Northumberland has its own bagpipes, but unlike the Scottish pipes, which are blown by mouth, the air is circulated by squeezing the bag with the elbow. Ruth's drama group's float has won again. Celebrations are not in any way tempered by the fact that there were only 3 floats in the competition. Last year there was only 1. The Allendale May Fair is already over. It's almost June, but in the fields the Northumbrian spring still looks like winter. For the rest of the country, though, summer is already here. In summer, the gardens of Hinton St George burgeon and bloom into life in festival mood. Hinton becomes a village of flowers, which burst from its rich soil and wrap the houses with their petals. Flowers are what Hinton St George is famous for throughout Somerset. Every summer, Hinton throws its gardens open to the public. People come to inspect, admire and copy the horticultural and zoological innovations of its residents. 10 of the greenest and most ambitious fingers in Hinton belong to Lynn Spencer Mills, who has spent the last few days carefully feeding, weeding and fine-tuning her garden. Now she's interpreting it.
This thing here, this one's Phlomis ruslianum. Do you know the ordinary Jerusalem sage?
Oh yes.
This is the fancy version. And it's attracting a particularly nasty species of bee.
Oh.
But to be in this bed, you've got to be either yellow or blue. It's my macaw bed, so it's following the theme of colours of the macaw. And round the edges, we've got all pink and mauve things.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God, I found a weed.
Oh.
About a dozen gardens are open to the public, although because of the late summer this year, not all the flowers have bloomed yet, and some gardens, not quite at their peak, have remained closed. The gardens of Hinton are remnants of the medieval division of land into long strips, which were allocated to the villagers on which to grow their crops. There are, however, occasional disturbances to Hinton's serene gardening weekend. Tom the clock is one of the few people in Hinton not to have a garden, apart from the one growing up the sides of his cottage. In his tiny courtyard, Tom rears his own breakfast. Occasionally there are a few eggs over to swap for a pint of bitter in the local pub, the Pool at Arms. The Pool at name is so common here that to avoid confusion with another Pool at Arms nearby, the pub is changing its name slightly. The Poolett family were lords of the manor here for 600 years, until the last earl died without an heir in 1973. Beneath St George's Church lies a crypt where rest the entombed bodies of the lords and ladies of the Poolett family. Their stone effigies lie in the Poolett family chapel, some of them damaged by Cromwell's soldiers in the English Civil War in the middle of the 17th century. In Tudor times, Sir Amyas Poolett put the young Thomas Wolsey in the stocks for being drunk and disorderly. Later, when young Thomas had become Cardinal Wolsey and Henry VIII's chief minister, he imprisoned Sir Amyas. One of the Pooletts disliked the rest of the family so much that he demanded not to be buried in the crypt with my stinking relatives, and has a shady plot in the churchyard instead. By summer, no one in the village can remember where Tom's front door is. So Mavis Pippin, born and bred in the village with her daughter-in-law Susan, takes her broken clock through the garage door instead.
Let's have a look inside.
It's not the first time that the clock has been to see Tom.
Oh, it don't look too bad this time. He's not full of hairs, is he?
Yeah, it did. No, it was last time, wasn't it?
Goodness gracious me. Well, you don't know the story?
No, I don't know the story.
Oh, dear. Your husband used to use a little mirror above this clock when it was on the mantelpiece.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he used to shave in this little mirror. And lo and behold,
It all went down.
all went down and filled the clock full of shaving hairs. There's no hairs in here this time, is there?
No.
Better get on with it then, haven't we?
Yeah, we'll leave it with you, Tom.
Yeah, all right, fine then.
Right. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Thanks, then.
Yeah, bye.
Bye,
We'll
then.
see you anon.
Months later, Tom will remember to mend the clock, and Mavis may remember to pick it up.
All right. Yeah. Right, here we are then.
The flatlands of Norfolk in the east of the country are crisscrossed with rivers made from ancient peat diggings. Here lie small riverside villages with thatched roofs, made from the reed and sedge which grows in this part of the country. Marsherman Eric Edwards still harvests it, as people have done for centuries. In summer, Eric floats the sedge down the rivers to sell to the thatchers of Norfolk. David Farman thatches in most of the villages in this part of Norfolk, as his family has done for generations, until now.
There's not the thatching families around that there were, say, 20, 30 odd years ago. I mean, I'm the last in line of my family, and we've been working for well in excess of 200 years. So when I go, I'm afraid that's the end of the farming tradition in thatching. It's a shame, but there isn't anything I can do about that.
But David does intend to leave his mark.
Farmhouses, which this is obviously, are normally fairly plain and simple, but I just wanted to change it a little bit. It's pattern work that I've been shown by my father and that he was shown before. That's just variations on a theme, really.
Thatchers in different parts of the country leave their own trademarks, using local materials and individual styles to provide a subtle regional variation across the counties of England. Hayden, which lies within David Farman's domain, has somehow avoided his forebears' craft. There are no thatched roofs at all in the village. Sarah Bulwer-Long shares the responsibility for arranging the church flowers with the other women of the village, including Florrie Wadlow.
Oh, hi,
Hello, dear.
For church flowers. Your turn.
Yes, my turn. I have picked some.
Oh, wonderful.
Now,
Lovely.
have you got some greenery?
Yeah.
Would
And
that
some
be all
sweet
right?
peas.
Oh, lovely.
All right.
Yeah,
So
right.
we'll toddle
yeah.
off and do that now.
Yeah, right.
It's so dry.
Florrie's Catman didn't win Hayden the best-kept village competition this year, but it did well against stiff opposition.
Did you realise we were sixth in the best
Yeah,
best
I
kept
was
village?
quite pleased about
Yeah,
that,
everybody-
really. Because,
they did so well, didn't they, everybody?
yes, really. Isn't this garden pretty?
Yeah, it's very good.
I think it is. They've done very well, haven't they? Isn't that
It is,
lovely?
it's gorgeous, isn't
I'd
it?
love to pin some of them flowers, really, for the church. wouldn't
Yeah.
When Sarah or Florrie arrange the church flowers, they pick them from the kitchen garden at the Great Hall.
If you
Oh,
go
look
left.
at your lovely
yeah, go
sweet
over there.
peas, love.
Yeah, Millie. Now, what have we got?
some larkspur, a few larkspur.
Yeah. I did get some of larkspur for Sybil's funeral.
And some asters and the zinnias.
Oh, they're
Which
lovely. They'd make a nice show, won't
yes,
they?
Yes, they do. Jolly nice.
Yeah.
This is the last time that Florrie will do the church flowers before a holiday to the fjords of Norway.
Are you looking forward to going on holiday?
Oh, yes, I am very much.
Got your suitcase packed?
I hope the weather's nice, especially up in the Arctic Circle.
All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Except when absent on her adventurous vacations, Florrie has been looking after the church flowers for over 30 years. Flowers, though, just aren't what they used to be.
But, you know, flowers have got a mind of their own.
I know. Depends which way they've grown, doesn't it?
Yes. They don't always
They're leaning one way or another.
Yeah, don't always want to do what you want them to.
No.
And these, I think, these show up beautifully against the dark wood.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
So what service is it on Sunday here?
It's the second Sunday, isn't it? So it'll be at 9:30 this week. Yeah. No.
Communion, is it?
Yes. Oh, yes, it's communion. We have communion every Sunday.
So,
what do they look like now? Oh, they're not too bad, are they?
The great tower of Hayden's 500-year-old church dominates the village. The church of Hartest in Suffolk is tucked away to the side of the village green. Here, once a year, Buck meets Monty Python. Rodney Bullock plays in his unique fashion to raise money for charity. The congregation, which flows in and out throughout the day, donates money to hear and watch Rodney play. For centuries, village life has revolved and evolved around the church. The church is often the oldest building, the rest of the village growing up around it. Churches were built to last. Often paid for by the parishioners, they have become symbols of pride, even in an era when attendances have fallen. In the past, the nave would be used as a communal village hall, where parishioners would watch plays and hold revelries on holy days, brewing and drinking ale on the premises. Rodney Bullock appears to be continuing an age-old tradition. The bell ringers of Drew's Tainton's Church of Holy Trinity hone their technique. Outside, the crops are at full height but have not yet ripened, which doesn't seem to bother the local deer, who lazily munch their way through the wheat fields. Earlier in the week, one of the deer was killed by a car, leaving an orphaned fawn. Joy Walker has named him Keelan and is bringing him up herself.
Oh, there's in the bottle. Oh, yes. They love a lot of contact, and you can't. It's not like a baby lamb where you can just sort of stuff a bottle into a baby lamb and it'll drink it wherever. These seem to really like contact. They like to actually sort of be cuddled up close to you. And he recognises his bottle from about 100 paces.
Keelan is only 2 weeks old, and this is the first time he's been allowed out for an expedition into the paddock. Ashmore in Dorset. Its medieval pond in which Roman coins have been found gives the village its name. Ashmere means ash tree lake. It's Midsummer's Day, when every year the people of Ashmore hold a festival of traditional dances, the Filly Loo, a name which none of its residents can explain. The horn dance is related to hunting, though like the Filly Loo, nobody is quite sure what it means or when it started. It may have pagan origins, it may be a fertility dance, it may be a Victorian invention. But Shakespeare included a horn dance in As You Like It, with lyrics favouring the fertility theory. The horn, the lusty horn, is not a thing to laugh or scorn, is one of his lines usually left out of the quotation books. Northumberland. In Allendale, the summer is coming and going. It's July, but the fine day is giving way to the east wind, which is blowing rain clouds in off the North Sea. Under the vast grey skies, John Dodd, David and Norman have decided to take advantage of the long summer evening and bring in the last of the hay before the brewing storm soaks and ruins it. All the fields have names, as they do in farms across England. There's Barley Riggs, named after the highest part of a furrow, and there's Moss Flats, Quarry Field, Low Pasture, the Thacky, where a thatched cottage once stood, and Bob's Field, named after a long-dead farmer who once worked this land. A few miles away on the remote moors of County Durham, Frank Collingwood is rounding up his sheep for shearing.
Come in, Rob.
Helping him are Robert his son and Rob the sheepdog.
Rob. Here.
Frank has 1,400 sheep, and many roam up to a mile away on the moors, on their heft, the grazing area they were born on and think of as their home. The lambs are too young for shearing, so they are kept in a pen while their mothers are shorn. Frank and his sons get through 140 sheep in a day. But the wool has been coarsened by the harsh climate of these northern moorlands, and the fleeces earn Frank and his sons little money for their hard work. After shearing, the lambs are reunited with their shorn mothers, if they can spot them.
They're having a little bit of difficulty recognising the mothers after having the fleeces took off, so we keep them in this enclosure they'll recognise the mothers by their voices. That's why they're playing and answering each other now. But obviously after they've had a change of clothes like that, they're baffled by the visual side of it. And it pays just to give them a little bit of time, then we're sure they go back to the mower coupled up, as they should be.
On the Cornish coast in Cadgwith, it's the height of the fishing season. But fishing these days rarely keeps a man fully occupied. The village has an artist fisherman, a builder fisherman, a blacksmith fisherman, a solicitor fisherman, and a jazz saxophone playing fisherman. Jonathan Fletcher on tenor. The Cadgwith Rough Jazz Association rehearses for its weekly gig at the village pub. Martin Ellis is nicknamed Nutty, from the time he went to sea in weather so rough that the less nutty fishermen stayed on shore. Nutty has also had a bad day at sea with not a fish in sight. Lizard Point is the most southerly tip of England. There has been a lighthouse here since 1619. Tennyson called its twin towers the Southern Eyes of England. Jonathan Fletcher and his partner Andrew, Fletch and Muskie, are having a bad day of their own. Or so it seems. The wind and the roar of the sea make communication difficult and incomprehensible. The cold easterly wind makes poor conditions for catching fish. Their pots have ensnared only crabs and lobsters that are too small or have no meat on them and are unsaleable. Nearly every one of them is thrown back. All Fletch and Muskie can do is to bait the pots and hope for better luck in a day or two. It's been pretty much the same story for all the boats of Cadgwith. In September 1908, the fishermen of Cadgwith landed 1,347,000 pilchards in 2 days. Then the whole village would wait on the beach when the fish were brought in. It took up to 3 days to empty the nets. But the last big catches were made in 1910. Fishing isn't what it used to be.
It's long hours, dangerous and wet and dirty. For some unaccountable reason, we keep on doing it. You can't get away from it. I know I start to get withdrawal symptoms if I don't go to sea for a week. I start pacing up and down, worrying about things. One day at sea and everything's all right again. Very strange. Probably not quite sane.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Mike. Right.
Yeah, right on. Bit lumpy here today, but
horrible today. You do any good?
No, the easterly wind didn't much pop, was it?
No, it's not good at all. I might as well not have bothered.
The seas aren't offering up their fish to the villagers of Cadgwith, but the earth is burgeoning with ripened crops to be gathered in by the farmers. It's harvest time. Summer is almost over. The lives of Florrie Wadlow, Ruth Finn, Tom the Clock, and all the other villagers will change once more with the seasons. For Fletch, Muskie, Tatty, JC and Nutty, there may also be a change of luck. But whatever the changes may be, autumn and winter are on their way. Summer has drifted away, and after the harvesting of the crops, the heavy moisture-laden skies of autumn cover the land. The seasonal calendar will soon bring celebrations of the soil and its produce, as the trees impose their new colours on the landscape. The Dorset coast of southern England. Dorset is the heart of Wessex, the inspiration for the fictional region created by the novelist Thomas Hardy in the 19th century. Tess of the D'Urbervilles, one of his greatest characters, worked at a dairy farm a few miles down the coast from here. Just inland from the tiny village of Seatown, a handful of cottages and a solitary pub, lies its bigger neighbour, Chiddock. These strange ornaments from the past are staddle stones, the foundations of haystacks which allowed air to circulate and prevented rats from climbing up and spoiling the crop. Until this century, every autumn, men in these parts would travel the countryside with mobile cider presses to crush the apples as they fell from the trees. But the men of Chiddock had no need for these itinerant cider makers. They've always made their own brew.
Eh? Better picking than yesterday. Eh?
Since medieval times, they have collected the windfall apples from the garden of the manor house. Many of the apples are rare varieties with strange names: Kingston Blacks, Blemish Oranges, and Tom Putts. Thousands of apples are used to make the strong cider which is known throughout the West Country as scrumpy. A dozen or so friends continue the old custom every autumn, in a corrugated iron shed untouched by time, regulations or red tape. The worst of the apples are rejected by quality control, while the rest are mashed to pulp. Layering the mashed-up apples in the 250-year-old cider press is known as making the cheese, a part of the process dominated by an old superstition.
I think the tradition was that the only people who were experienced enough to make the cheese were the older men, and the tradition grew that they were the ones that would die next, you know. So there's a sort of a feeling amongst a lot of the blokes that they won't make a cheese. They just won't do it, you know. So they they let sort of innocents like us do it, you know. People who aren't that traditional or aren't that worried by the superstition. I don't mean to say we won't be the next ones to go. I'm just a newcomer here. He tells me what to do, basically. It's quite a privilege, actually, to be allowed to do it.
Right, Rolly.
What's the cider coming out? Yeah.
Still level, are we?
None of the scrumpy is sold. The latest drinkable vintage from a very hot summer produced 3,000 gallons of the best scrumpy in living memory and 3,000 hangovers to go with it. The scrumpy is traditionally accompanied by bread, cheese and raw onion. Membership of the exclusive group is strictly by invitation and limited to about 30 or so favoured villagers. Fergie and Prince Andrew rented the manor house in 1987, but never made it to the cider shed.
It's all right. I've never run that bridge. Oh, it's heavy, isn't it?
Hayden is the quietest of villages. In autumn, this East Anglian village is even quieter than usual. Hayden is isolated with no public transport, so whenever Florrie Wadlow goes on holiday, she always has to start with a car journey and buys her supplies from the village shop.
Thanks, Joan. How are you?
Yes.
Oh, I see you've got some nice bananas.
Oh, you beat Mrs. Ashby to it. She likes the rope ones too, doesn't she?
Yeah. Have you got any mint humbugs?
Yes.
Because I do like to have some mint humbugs when I'm driving along in the car.
Yes, yes.
Florrie will drive herself and her cousin the 50 miles to the ferry, which will take her on yet another expedition to Norway and the northern climes she favours.
I'll have some dairy lace. Thank you very much.
Your cousin's gone with you, is she?
Oh, yes.
I thought the weather would be nice for you.
I hope so, but they do say in Norway that can change just as quick as what it does in England.
Really?
The village shop's collection of cards of local views remind Florrie of her early life and of the romances of her youth at nearby Blickling Hall.
Because you remember Blickling.
Yeah. I used to work there when I was a girl, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yes.
What, were you the cook or...?
Yes,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I did my court in there too.
Florrie Wadlow's haunts of Blickling and Hayden are Old English or Anglo-Saxon names, but in Cornwall, in the far west, many place names are in the Old Cornish language. Indian Queens, though, commemorates the visit of Pocahontas to England in 1616. It's almost the end of the fishing season in Cadgwith. As autumn passes, the boats will go to sea less and less, until by December they'll lie on the little beach in front of the village for the rest of the winter. Since spring, though, the catches have picked up for Nutty, Tatty and JC. The pilchard shoals may have disappeared, but the crabs at least haven't forsaken Cornwall. In autumn, as the days grow shorter, the Cadgwith Cove Inn becomes even more important as the focal point of the village. These tunes have Celtic origins and have more in common with Scottish and Irish music than English. The music of the Celts, even a simple jig like this, has influenced other forms of folk music throughout the world. Autumn brings the Harvest Festival at Drew Stainton's Church of Holy Trinity. In the 18th century, church charities helped the poor of Drew Stainton with gifts of bread, but only after they had attended the morning service. The poor could also eke out a living from the church wardens, who encouraged them to keep down the vermin and who would pay them for their extermination. In 1792, the register reads, "For killing a badger, 1 shilling. A fox and vixen, 10 shillings. 42 hedgehogs, 7 shillings. Perhaps because of the relatively low unit rate for hedgehogs, the following year, only 11 of them perished. These days, the harvest service consists of villagers giving to the church and to charity, rather than the other way round.
Father, we thank you once more for all your good gifts to us. We thank you for this time together. We thank you for this food and for those who have prepared it for us. In Jesus' name.
Amen. In the evening, the whole village gathers together for the harvest supper. It's an old tradition in Drews Tainton and in many other villages across the country. But a new tradition has also taken root. The people of Drews Tainton donate farm produce and homemade wines, tarts and pies, to be auctioned for charity at the end of the meal.
£4 I bid, £4 I bid, £4 I bid. Go!
A German couple on holiday, who had popped their heads round the door and were invited to stay, helped this year's good cause to send a cow to Africa. The auction is a lesson in not judging by first appearances. An apple tart has been masquerading as a quiche Lorraine, its true identity known only to the woman who made it.
We better know what it is. Somebody tell me what it is. Go away.
The next item, luckily, is unmistakable.
1 pumpkin. What do I bid then? For a pumpkin. What do I bid? 'Tis a beautiful pumpkin. £2 I bid, £2 I bid, £2 I bid, £3, £3, £3.50. Going, gone, Rebecca. Now what you're going to do with it, right?
By the end of the evening, enough money had been raised to send at least part of a cow to Africa. Keelan, the orphan deer, is growing up. He's now tame enough to be taken by Joy and Ron on a country walk, like a dog.
So how old's the little chap now then, Joy?
He's 4 months old.
Yeah, you got him looking proper, mind.
Keelan's on solid foods now, but there's much debate about exactly what to feed him and when to change his diet.
So I just hope that we're doing the right things by him, but he's putting on a lot of weight, eating a lot of hard feed.
With no textbooks on rearing deer available, Joy's technique has been very much trial and error.
So I was reading about fallow deer the other day, and I gathered that they wean their babes by middle of September.
That's right.
But we decided not to do that. Keep him a bit babyish.
Yeah, keep him babyish and feed him well. He's
And
going
give him a good
to come
winter.
on all right. That's right. Can't fault it, really.
Soon, Joy will have to decide whether to let Keelan join his cousins on the moors above Drews Tainton, or, if he's unlikely to survive in the wild, to keep him as a pet. In the evening, there's a challenge match at Aunt Mabel's pub between Ron and the men who live near the village square and those of Church Gate, that part of the village which lies beyond the graveyard. Traditionally, there has always been a rivalry between these two halves of the village. Challenges, often violent ones, were thrown out to each other. But over the centuries, fights were gradually replaced by tugs of war, and these days by darts matches. Drews Tainton lies on the edge of Dartmoor and the whole moorland landscape of Devon and Cornwall. In the north of the country, near the Durham-Northumberland border, farmer Frank Collingwood is repairing the dry stone walls that are typical of this moorland region and have over the years collapsed under the weight of the heavy snowdrifts of the north. Frank maintains and builds up his walls for a number of reasons, but one in particular.
Well, we've got some very athletic sheep, you know. That's the real reason. You can imagine when you've got this coarse grass out on the outside, the heather, very, very low in nutrition compared to this nice luscious clover and ryegrass on the inside. There's an awful temptation to get from there to here. You know, it's like dry bread and spice loaf. On a hill farm like this, I mean, as you can see in this landscape, you can imagine a strong 60, 70 mile an hour gale, and you didn't have any stone walls. There's no shelter for sheep, no shelter for man, or wildlife or anything. And so they're very, very valuable asset, but time consuming in the maintenance, you know. But I believe in keeping them up. And so I hope to pass it on, you know, to a new generation. And I hope they keep them up.
As Frank uses the quiet autumn to mend his walls, the season in Allendale, a few miles away, leaps into life with the first rehearsals for the Christmas pantomime.
Sound enthusiastic, okay? Your Majesty, with a bit of enthusiasm, right?
The bard of Allendale, Ruth Finn, has created a cross between Robinson Crusoe and Shakespeare's The Tempest. But the early rehearsals are more the comedy of errors.
Oh, no, you won't!
Oh, yes, you will!
Audience participation is at the heart of the modern pantomime, a unique British tradition which reworks fairy stories with song, dance and chaos.
Grand ideas! I wish Sprat the cat were here.
The cast is also continuing the great pantomime tradition of forgetting their lines. All the players are from the village and the surrounding countryside, with the newly appointed vicar bravely playing Sprat the cat and Ruth bravely staving off a nervous breakdown.
Including you. Can you try and remember your lines as well?
Local volunteers also lend their help to make sure that props fall apart and music cues are regularly missed.
Where's the drummer?
Oh! I must rescue the princess! She's in great danger! Oh. What princess? Oh.
For many children, the pantomime is their first experience of the theatre.
And the thing is, you've got your two sopranos, and one of them has got a higher range than the other, so you've got to find a key that suits them both.
And have you managed to do that?
I think so, yeah. Well, it looks like it. All right? That's all I can remember.
Right, sir. Okay, ready? On three. Right. 1, 2, 3.
Life on the ocean wave, a rope from the tops and sea. That's a tot of room for you, and a tot of room for me. When we talk of a passing ship, we exact a little fee. So that's a tot of room for you, and another one just for me.
That was terrible. Right, can we do it again? Try and remember the words, Rodney, can you?
Life on the ocean wave, a toss of the rolling sea. That's a tot of room for you. It's a tot of room for me. We say exact a little fee. That's a tot of room for you, another tot of room for me.
Stanton in Gloucestershire. Its architecture is typical of many villages in the Cotswold Hills of the south. Most of its houses and cottages were built of local stone in the 17th century, the golden period of Cotswold architecture. Its church dates from much earlier. St. Michael's was built in about 1100, shortly after the Norman conquest. In the Domesday Book, Stanton has 14 villagers, 3 farmers and 6 slaves. In the 16th century, Catherine Parr, Henry VIII's last wife, lived here. It's Guy Fawkes Night, commemorating the foiling of the Gunpowder Plot, which was to have blown up the Houses of Parliament in 1605.
Hello, Emily. Penny for the guy. Penny for the guy. Right. Good. And where do I put it? Just there we go. Isn't it lovely?
Ever since the plot on November the 5th, effigies of Guy Fawkes, one of the conspirators, have been made by children to be burnt on a bonfire. But first they use them to raise a bit of money for fireworks.
Isn't he lovely? Well done, Emily.
Lovely guy.
Guy Fawkes Night is often wet and usually damp, but whatever the weather brings, it rarely dampens the spirits.
Come on. Beauty. Oh, lovely, that's the boy. That's it.
Soon after Guy Fawkes Night, autumn merges softly into winter, and in our more northern villages, the snows cover the land. The east of the country, too, is often colder at this time of year, the first to get the blasts of bitterly cold Siberian winds. The snows have yet to come to Hinton St George in the west of the country, protected by the warm Gulf Stream of the Atlantic. But Tom the Clock has already taken his motorbike inside, where it will live with him until spring. Winter is the only season where Tom's front door is fully displayed to the village. Tom mended Mavis Pippin's clock back in July. It's now Christmas Eve, and she still hasn't been to pick it up.
Tom.
Guess what I got for you?
Yeah, at last.
At last, yeah. Oh, well, here she is, look.
Lovely. Thank you, Tom, very much.
All right.
Thank
Yeah,
you ever
there
so
wasn't
much.
a lot wrong with it.
There wasn't?
No. I
No
just give
hairs?
it a quick... No hairs, no.
No.
I just give it a quick wash and brush up.
Yeah.
Drop
lovely.
of oil.
Lovely.
And it should be okay from now on. But if there is any bother...
Let you know.
Bring it back.
All right. Right, are we all ready for Christmas then, Tom?
Oh, just about.
Well.
You see that I got my Christmas lights
Yes,
up?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. I got complaints because I put them up early. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Who's that?
They thought I was a bit ahead. You heard about the badger, didn't you?
No.
I got knocked off my bike.
Oh, what, with a badger?
I got hit with a badger, yeah.
What, down round there, round Green?
Yeah, he ran straight into me and I was over the handlebars.
Hurt yourself?
No.
Tom braves the badger-infested road, which leads to the next village, Dinnington, to attend the Christmas carol service, which is held in the local pub.
When the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even, brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel. When a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel, hear the page come stand by me, if thou know'st his telling, yonder peasant who is he, where and what is dwelling, Sahib is a goodly kent, underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence, by St. Agnes fountain.
Now listen, pay attention, pay attention. We've now got a series of virgins passing amongst you collecting money.
Every year, the virgins take a collection and a charity benefits from their untainted purity. The rector of Hinton also holds a more conventional service in church, the Christingle celebration for the children of the surrounding villages. Each child is given an orange holding a candle, the orange representing the world and the candle a new light and a new birth. In Muka, far to the north in the Yorkshire Dales, the snow as usual has come early. For hundreds of years, Muka had an unusual tradition. Until 1735, the dead inhabitants shared the village's communal and reusable coffin, from which the corpse would be removed at the graveside. The coffin would be wiped down and stored away for the next funeral. The present-day inhabitants of Muka make sure they get to band practice whatever the weather. The band is gently knocked into shape by its conductor, Dr. Duncan Bithell.
A bit less noise from all round. Spare a little form. Okay, try again.
The band rehearses twice a week all winter long, for it has its reputation to maintain. Once the snows have melted and the temperature rises, they'll be playing outside again, at garden fetes and charity concerts, and competing with the best of the other bands of Yorkshire. The energetic and expressive arms of Dr. Bithell will, with luck, inspire the band to win more cups and plaques when the competitions start again. Over the moors, 50 miles to the north, lies Northumberland and Allendale. Here too, winter has come early and will go late. Sometimes the villages in this part of the country get cut off in deepest winter. For those who can get through the snowdrifts, it's the last night of the Allendale pantomime. The hiccups of the rehearsal are long forgotten, although the cast have invented new ones for the performance. The snowdrifts haven't kept many away. It's a full house. The previous performances have gone well. The cast have learnt their lines. They're even adding new ones of their own to Ruth Finn's script.
Obviously, each performance is different. The cast keep on doing their own thing. And tonight you'll see something that's entirely different to what I wrote, what we've been rehearsing, and what we've been doing.
The pantomime is a great success, full of the usual complement of women dressed as men, men dressed as women, boys dressed as men, men dressed as boys, and the religious leader of the community dressed as a saxophone-playing cat.
When we board a passing ship, we exact a little fee. That's a tot of room for you, and a whole lot more for me.
Just outside the village, David, Farmer Dodd's son-in-law, must brave the weather to feed his cattle, now using the hay harvested many months ago. A few miles to the south of Allendale, in the valley of the River Allen, lies the smaller village of Allen Heads. Its one pub, the Allen Heads Inn, has the greatest collection of bric-a-brac in the county, possibly the country. Peter Stevenson, the landlord, came here on holiday and liked the pub so much he bought it, and imported 5 truckloads of curious curios to fill it. Peter happily collects almost anything, without the restriction of a theme, or rhyme, or reason.
What's that one? Oh, an actual fact. Well, it's a door knocker. It's a Christmas decoration. Actually, it's like me. It talks for an hour and says nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah. This is quite a handy one. You see, when we get crowded in here, which we do quite often, which I'm glad I said, what we do is we go... dive! But if you... It's all you're trying to get across, you see. Well, he's not very well. We got those sort of things. It just came out of an old ship, in actual fact. So it's all... Everything... That's great.
Excellent.
That's wonderful. Well, it started in again. He thinks it's funny. Did I tell you we were doing the alterations on this building? Because as you know, the building, as I said previously, is about 240 years old.
Yeah.
We poured the floorboards up, you know. And do you know what we found under there?
No.
Found a pair of shoes.
Pair of shoes?
Yeah. In actual fact, the shoes are under there, by that speaker over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fred, when you finish letting that gentleman out the door, the one... That's lovely. Could you pass them over? They're under the clock there. Oh, that's lovely. Those ones there. Yeah, see those shoes?
Oh, thanks.
Those shoes are approximately
Good
140
heavens.
years old, you know.
Good gracious.
Look, see?
Uh-huh.
They're amazing.
They got, see, the lady shoes they are, they've got little buckles on them and the little bows. And what I
They're
did...
clogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wooden soled. Yeah.
Yeah, the local press came along and took a picture of these shoes, and I had to hold them up there, you know, and I said, the lady that they fit, I'll marry. And 6 girls phoned up.
New Year's Eve. In Allendale, they burn the old year out. Some have been doing it for longer than others.
This is my 70th year that I've been carrying a barrel without a miss. Never missed. I started when I was 15, and I've done it for the full 70 years.
Geysers, men born in Allendale, disguised in outlandish costumes, carry the blazing tar barrels around the streets of the village. It's said that the origin of the tar barrel ceremony was the habit of carrying a burning torch into a house to chase out ghosts or evil spirits. The disguises were necessary so that the ghosts didn't recognize you and take revenge.
We'll make the hero the
After the tar barrels have been burnt, New Year for Ruth Finn and the rest of Allendale goes on pretty much the same as elsewhere. It just goes on for much longer. In Cadgwith, during the winter, most of the fishing boats will lie on the beach until spring, with only the odd bit of maintenance needed and an occasional trip to sea. But the singing goes on all year round.
As we roll through the valleys, where the lilies and the roses, and the beautiful Kashmir lake to bring its head. And
Got her a minute, I got to go in there a minute.
Okay. All right, I got it.
Yeah, put the wire back there.
Hark, hark in the distance, their footsteps approaching. Stand, stand and deliver, it is our watch cry. As we roll through the valleys, where the lilies and the roses, and the beautiful Kashmir lake to bring its head.
The rough seas off Cadgwith are notorious. From 1867 until the end of its life in 1963, the Cadgwith lifeboat saved a total of 388 lives from the waves which hack away at the Cornish coast. Over the centuries, there have been many shipwrecks. 25 people were saved from the Socoa, which ran onto the rocks off Cadgwith in August 1906. Also rescued were 50,000 barrels of cement, bound for the rebuilding of San Francisco after the Great Earthquake. The liberated cement was used in the rebuilding of the nearby Falmouth docks instead.
Trains in yonder mountain where the rovers retreat.
Cadgwith lies on the Lizard Peninsula, a few miles from the most southerly point of England. A point that doesn't go unnoticed. Hayden. Hayden still has its own blacksmith. Jack Barber has been the village blacksmith of Hayden for 30 years. Jack has his own ancient filing system for the shoes he makes for the villagers' horses. He's often interrupted by Florrie Wadlow, who pops into his forge for a chat about old times and changing times.
Lost several things,
Well,
haven't we,
yeah,
really?
the old type things, they're gone, haven't
yeah,
they?
we
A lot
have,
now,
yeah. And we don't have whisk drives and things now,
No?
like we used
Well, I bet
to.
the dances used to be on a Saturday
Oh,
night.
I know, my goodness me. We had people far and wide
That we
come,
did, yeah. Lots of
Hayden,
those used to
didn't we?
come in,
Yeah, I know.
I like the old fete once a year, I do, you know.
Yes,
Garden
yeah.
fete.
That
and
is
that's
a good thing.
That
I
bring
think,
all the people
yeah.
together, don't it?
Yeah, that does. Yeah, and that's surprising, really. You only got to ask people, and they'll do things.
Of course they will, yeah.
But
yeah.
they won't always volunteer, will
No,
they?
no, you sort of got to push a bit.
Yes, yeah. That's funny, really. People are, aren't they?
Absolutely. You'll soon have to, because the grass has grown a bit
I know.
this winter, hasn't
I
it?
know, although it's so cold, you can see it coming.
As winter starts to recede, thoughts turn yet again to entry in the best-kept village competition.
Yeah. It's people's gardens, really, that worry me. Those who don't weed them.
Well, we'll pop across and see Jack.
Yes, he might have some good ideas. He's always very smart, isn't he?
Sarah Bulwer-Long and her sister-in-law, Mary Ann Shipham, set out to motivate the villagers of Hayden to improve on last year's standing in the competition and to try to engender the community spirit of Florrie's youth.
Morning, ladies. How are you?
We're all right. Just discussing the best kept village. I know it's early in the year, but...
Well, that's always a good idea, I think, to go in it, don't you?
Yes.
And it encourages people.
It's a big effort this year, because we did win our group last year.
Did we?
Very good. Won our group, yes. But now, then we have to go in the final, and we didn't get in the
we didn't get in the final.
As Jack finds a novel use for his smithing equipment, horticultural problems dominate Florrie's life as winter fades and spring springs once again.
Start cutting your grass.
That grows nearly as quick as what the weeds do, don't they? They tell you to plant a lot of things in, well, which I'm trying to do, but some of them take longer than others.
You want perennials, not the annuals.
That's right. Every year. That's what I'm trying to fill up with. I've been thinking about pinching the bit back.
The snowdrops of winter push their way through the earth and linger a little, to be followed by the daffodils, which tell us that yet another spring has arrived. Tom the Clock's Virginia creeper mischievously prepares once again to bind his front door to his front wall. The next Allendale pantomime is a mere 8 months away.
Right, so here we are again to discuss the next pantomime. If you recall, after rehearsals we got together in the Crown Inn and had an idea to get away from Victorian sort of idea.
The Cadgwith fishing fleet puts out to sea once again, as crabs and lobsters scuttle for safety. But alternative occupations are still a necessary option. Keelan the baby deer probably wouldn't have survived in the wild, but was getting a little wild for a pet. So Joy has given him to a deer sanctuary.
The children were down for the Easter holidays and he didn't think much to them. And he did give the kids a bit of a headbutt and I thought, well, no, this is getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah.
And really it's time that, we thought about thinking where he was going to go next. And it was, it's no good hanging around. I took him down on Wednesday. It was a bit emotional.
Cool.
And he's happy, he's settled, he's got friends, he's got his own kind around him, which is what he needs.
Yes, good.
It was nice in one respect, in that he's outside all the time now, day and night. He's made friends with a llama, of all things.
In spring, thoughts turn once again to the pleasures of the outdoors and of the great English countryside. Tom's motorbike is released once again from its living room and prepares to dodge the roaming badgers of Somerset. The English village is still with us, sometimes fighting off the 20th century and sometimes capitulating to it. But there is still enough distinctiveness, individuality, and occasional eccentricity to keep it alive for quite a while yet. Florrie Wadlow, Ruth Finn, Tom the Clock and all the rest have their counterparts in hundreds of other villages across the country. There is enough tradition, ceremony and custom to celebrate the existence and style of the English village into the 21st century and beyond.